It all starts so simply: a letter, a pen, a hope for connection. For generations, letters have bridged distances, carrying dreams and secrets. But sometimes that bridge leads to darkness, not friendship. In a world of fleeting digital messages, the handwritten letter feels safe, personal, even romantic. Yet danger can arrive quietly, hidden in an envelope. This is the story of Amelia Hart, a cautionary tale of a pen-pal relationship gone wrong. Amelia, seeking connection, believed in the goodness of strangers. The letters she received brought excitement to her quiet life, until that spark ignited a fire she couldn't control. We imagine danger as a shadow in an alley, but the most insidious threats wear the mask of kindness. This is how a series of thoughtful letters became a blueprint for a nightmare. It's about the slow erosion of boundaries, the subtle manipulation that makes a victim doubt themselves. How does trust curdle into fear? How does a confidant become a predator? For Amelia, the descent began with a single friendly letter from a man named Daniel. He promised friendship, but delivered something terrifying. And it all started with a simple letter. Amelia Hart was quiet, thoughtful, and lived a safe, solitary life. Her days were filled with books and routine, but loneliness crept in. One winter, she found a pen pal service in a literary magazine, promising connection through shared interests. The idea felt safe, old-fashioned, and genuine. She wrote about her favorite authors and her hope for a kindred spirit. Soon, a letter arrived from Daniel, charming, intelligent, and seemingly perfect. He shared her love for classic literature and referenced obscure authors she admired. Their correspondence blossomed, each letter more personal than the last. Daniel remembered every detail: her cat's name, her favorite tea, childhood stories. He made her feel seen and important. The postman's arrival became the highlight of her day. For the first time in a long while, Amelia didn't feel alone. She believed she'd found a true friend. But beneath the surface, something darker was taking root. The letters that brought her joy would soon become a source of dread. She had no idea what was coming. The letters grew frequent and intimate, Amelia's private escape. Daniel described a writer's life in a rustic cabin, even sending a blurry photo. Trust deepened, and then the gifts began. A rare book, then flowers at her workplace. Thoughtful, but unsettling. Daniel's questions shifted. What time did she leave work? Which route did she take home? He framed it as curiosity, wanting to picture her day. But to Amelia, it felt like surveillance. The turning point. A necklace with a key charm and a note. Since I can't be there to unlock your door when you get home from the library around 6:15. He knew her exact routine. Details she'd never shared. The caring friend was gone. In his place was someone watching, collecting information. What began as friendship had become control. Amelia's sense of safety was shattered. She realized too late that Daniel's attention was not affection. It was obsession. The line between care and control had vanished. She was no longer just a pen pal. She was being hunted. The nightmare had begun, and Daniel was just getting started. Unnerved, Amelia tried to distance herself. Shorter replies, fewer details. But Daniel's letters became more frequent, more desperate. When she stopped responding, he moved online. Friend requests, messages to her friends, piecing together her life. He became a ghost in her digital world, always watching. One day, after Amelia posted a photo at a cafe, She received an anonymous email. "That yellow scarf looks beautiful on you." She hadn't worn the scarf in the photo, only after leaving the cafe. The only way he knew was if he'd been there, watching. Fear took over her life. She stopped posting, changed her routines, scanned every crowd. Her world shrank under the weight of constant surveillance. The man who once brought comfort was now a faceless threat. He knew her habits, her friends, her every move. Amelia's life was no longer her own. Daniel was no longer just a pen pal. He was a predator. The sense of safety she once felt was gone. She was being hunted, and the danger was closing in. The nightmare was now reality. Amelia's attempts to disappear only fueled Daniel's obsession. Cut off from letters and social media, he escalated. Now the physical distance was about to vanish. She noticed a strange car near her apartment, footsteps behind her on dark streets. A single white lily appeared on her doormat. No note needed. The message was clear. "I was here." Her sanctuary felt like a cage. Police listened, but without a direct threat, could do little. Then, one rainy night, a soft knock at her door. Through the peephole, a stranger, nervous, ordinary, but unmistakably Daniel. "Amelia, it's me. I just want to talk." She froze, heart pounding, every instinct screaming not to open the door. She backed away, fumbling for her phone, hands shaking. The man from the letters was outside, refusing to leave. The final barrier had been crossed. Amelia was trapped in a nightmare of her own making. The friend she'd trusted was now her greatest threat. She was alone, terrified, and running out of options. The story was about to reach its tragic climax. Amelia never opened the door. She called the police, but Daniel vanished before they arrived. For a moment, life seemed to calm, but hope was short-lived. Days later, Amelia failed to show up for work. Police found her apartment in disarray, a violent struggle, and Amelia gone. On her desk, a letter to her sister detailed her fear and named Daniel as her stalker. The letter became the centerpiece of a frantic investigation. Police traced Daniel's digital trail to a remote cabin, the one he'd described in his letters. There, they found Amelia's body and Daniel, whose real name was Martin Brown. He was a serial stalker, not the man he pretended to be. Every letter, every gift, had been a calculated move. When Amelia tried to escape, he couldn't let go. In his twisted mind, she belonged to him. The love story ended in tragedy. Amelia's search for connection had led her to a monster. The nightmare was over, but the lesson remained. The investigation revealed Martin Brown's deception. He was never the man he claimed. He used public records and social media to find Amelia, turning her trust into a weapon. Amelia's story is a heartbreaking reminder. Trust your instincts. That prickle of unease, that cold dread, those are warnings, not overreactions. We're taught to be polite, to give the benefit of the doubt, but your discomfort is valid. Care respects boundaries, control erases them. Stalking is not love, it's danger. Amelia did everything right, but the system failed her. We must learn to recognize red flags for ourselves and others. Guard your privacy, be cautious with information, and trust your gut. Amelia wanted a friend, but found a predator. Her story is a warning. Be careful who you let into your world, even through a letter. Sometimes the greatest danger arrives quietly in the guise of a friend.